the air, tap controlled by the Dream. Let's play some basketball.
95 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, clock's above the basket show 9:95, not 9:55. That might be a bit of a problem. We are bending the laws of time and space right off the opening tip at State Farm Arena. We will get that sorted out, I am sure. We'll get our best folks on it. We told you about the Dream losing on a game-winning layup by the All-Star Erica Wheeler with 11 seconds left on Wednesday. Sky trailed by as many as 21 points on Tuesday when they fell to Connecticut. They had cut that deficit to 4 in the closing minute and a half, but that was a nightmarish road trip simply to get to Connecticut. Sky were plagued by travel woes, had flights delayed out in Chicago. Some players did not arrive to the team hotel until 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and it's never fun when you have to travel separately, where they send the starters on the first flight because they're not sure when the second one comes. And it's certainly it's something that the league has battled with in the past. They're not the first team to, unfortunately, have to deal with these issues. So one thing I will say about the Chicago Sky team is they never give up. And so while they were down 21 late in that game at Connecticut, they had every reason to say, you know what, maybe this isn't our night. They fought right into the end of that game.
They are second in the league in field goal percentage, so certainly capable of shooting their way back into games.
Now getting a little explanation with the clock. As one side is 9:55, it's the other side at 9:95.
Fortunately, the clock on our screen is accurate. And it looks like we are ready to go. And this is not a Sky team, Amy, that you want to get into a three-point shooting contest with, especially if you're Atlanta, which has struggled from beyond the arc all season long.
Yeah, Chicago's one of the better three-point shooting teams in the league.
Breland, the former member of the Sky. Dishes to Hayes with a shot clock at 5. Her bounce pass intercepted by Vandersloot. Puts her head down, shovels it off to Diamond DeShields. And right on cue, an assist for Courtney Vandersloot. Diamond DeShields puts the Sky in front. Looked like Vandersloot might have had a clear path, but when you are on pace to set the new WNBA season assist record, you don't mind giving it up.
She's a pass-first point guard. Sometimes to a fault. I'd say if there's one thing that maybe coaches say in a critiquing fashion to Courtney Vandersloot is that sometimes maybe they want her to look to score a bit more.
She had 22 points in that loss to the Sun, her second highest point total of the season, as Williams tugs down the defensive rebound. Dream looked to run. Sykes pulls up, can't hit. And the rebound cleared by Lavender. This guy also second in the league in three-point percentage. Lavender pulls the trigger, can't find the touch. Now that ball just off the legs of Hayes for an unforced turnover. Let's get into our Georgia Lottery keys to the game, and we'll begin with the Sky.
Well, defend early and not in the shot clock, but in the game, going down 20-9 at home 2 weeks ago. They came back and won, but you certainly don't want to put yourself in that position on the road. And, of course, the second one, 3+ passes. James Wade wants his team in a half-court offense to get that ball moving. They're so dynamic offensively. And when they get the ball going, everything just opens up.
They're most dynamic when they're most unselfish, leading the WNBA in assists per game as Lavender gets the soft bounce to make it 4-0 Sky. Chantel Lavender acquired May the 20th in a trade with Los Angeles and stringing together a fine season out of Ohio State. DeShields got her hands on the pass. Earned her first All-Star appearance last week. Deep two by Hayes doesn't fall. Rebound to Vandersloot.
Yeah, Atlanta's taking a lot of outside shots to open this game up, Andy, and they want to get to the paint and attack the rim. Haven't seen too much of that early.
Vandersloot no good from 3. And that's surprising because the Dream, if you look at the statistics, they're facing a Sky team that allows the most points in the paint per game in the league. Another long-range three, jumper rather. That one falls by Breland.
And that's a shot that has been falling pretty nicely for her, to say the least. As much as we talk about their shooting struggles, Jessica Breland has a great mid-range jumper, and she has to take that. It's muscle memory.
Had her first double-double of the season when these teams met in Chicago 2 weeks ago. 3 off the mark by DeShields. Montgomery is headed off by Vandersloot. Breland has the size mismatch on Vandersloot, posted up a little too far outside the lane. Now Sykes on the dribble, had a strip by Quigley, and a ricochets off Sykes, a turnover.
And this is where you'd like to see Atlanta maybe be a bit more smarter on offense, because Brittany Sykes took, but Renee Montgomery was getting guarded by Lavender on the perimeter, and that would have been a great opportunity for that look to the rim.
Sky possession, and let's take a look at your Georgia Lottery Dream keys as a travel gives the ball back to Atlanta.
Now, the first one is slow the salute. I mean, you're not going to stop her, but you want to disrupt her, and she's been getting some really nice looks in terms of passes, getting her teammates open early in this game. The second one, get the bigs running in transition. Atlanta really likes their chances when Elizabeth Williams and Jessica Breland can get to the rim.
A hard dive to the rim by Williams. Can't roll that around Dolson. Dream 1 for their first 5. And they trail by 2 as the Shields look for space. Lobs it inside. Lavender got it blocked. Tiffany Hayes over the top of Lavender. He thought she was fouled. Williams again on the drive against Dolson. Lost the handle. Blast off the fingertips of Dolson.
And that call is going to stay. A little butterfingers from Elizabeth Williams. You see what she's trying to do, though, rip and go quickly against Dolson and try to utilize her foot speed.
Williams has led the team in scoring 2 of the last 3 games. Plants the screen for Hayes. Feeds Breland for a 3. Down the well for Jessica Breland. Just her 4th 3 of the season. But she gives the Dream the lead and a steal on the inbound. Hayes drives into Dolson and gets the bounce. One Husky against another. Former teammates at UConn. Here's the Shields. Pitching out. Quigley. Yes.
And that's what Chicago's going to do, right? Just when you think you got a little fire momentum. Allie Quigley with a wide open 3-point look. That's deadly.
The wide open is almost automatic. How about that spin and finish by Hayes? An early groove for Tiffany Hayes to make it 9-7 Dream. The pump fake gets Montgomery in the air, and the floater falls by Allie Quigley, the All-Star Game starter. Her 3rd consecutive All-Star appearance. Now the stare down with Hayes. Montgomery fakes, sidesteps. Her 3, good.
You saw this in the 3rd quarter a couple weeks ago, in that shooter started shooting, and all of a sudden it became more of a bit of a swag shots, right? Pump fake, oh, I got one, and then you saw Quigley with the floater on the baseline.
Montgomery had just 1 3 in that loss on Wednesday, but it was a milestone 3, the 500th of her career. Leads the break. No looks to Sykes. Out to Hayes. She pops the 3. Doesn't get that one. With that 500th career 3 in Indiana, Renee Montgomery just the 13th player in league history to hit that milestone. To steal by Hayes. Doesn't have numbers, slashes in anyway. Draws contact on Dolson, and a foul call. It takes us to our first timeout. 4:34 to play in the first quarter. Atlanta on top of Chicago, 12-9. Thanks to some great ball movement and that 3-ball work, and they've made 2 of their first 3, and they lead by 3 as we hit timeout. Worn pink jerseys from tonight's game to help raise money to find a cure for breast cancer. Visit AtlantaDream.net to learn about our pink auction. Tiffany Hayes, 4 early points for the Dream, who started off maybe missing 4 of their first 5. They've made 4 of their next 5. And Hayes with 2 free throws out of the timeout, trying to extend the Dream's lead.
And when these 2 teams met on the 17th of July, Tiffany Hayes left the game with 7 minutes left to play in the 4th quarter and didn't return, and actually missed 2 more games. She tweaked her hamstring, or there was something going on in the lower extremity there. But if you're Atlanta, you think if Tiffany Hayes was able to play out that game, you wonder if the outcome would have been different because she's their primary offensive threat, and whether she's scoring or not, when she's on the court, you've got to pay attention to her.
And don't remind Nikki Conlon of that because the Dream were leading by 5 when Hayes came out with that hamstring tweak. They wound up losing by 1.
And then had to go play at Connecticut and at Washington without her, too. So that was just a really tough break for Atlanta.
Another Sky turnover. That's something the Dream did well against Chicago, particularly in the first half 2 weeks ago. 17 total turnovers forced, and so far they've wrung out 4 from the Sky. The dribble drive by Coffey and a foul call.
And now you're starting to see that attack mentality, and it's interesting because it kind of came after that made 3 from Montgomery. So you see them looking to score in different ways now, whereas at the beginning of this game, it was all outside shots. And this is what Atlanta needs to do. They've got to hit, of course, they've got to hit outside shots, but getting to the paint and attacking the rim, drawing some fouls.
Foul was on to Shields, her first, team second. Hey, Coffey coming off 3 points versus Indiana. Averaging 6.3 a contest. Saw some time earlier this season in the starting lineup, and she stretches the Dream lead to 7. A 9-0 Atlanta run. Quigley is hounded by Alex Bentley, another sub off the Dream bench. Well, too chippy going over the top of the screen, and the foul on Alex Bentley.
Alex Bentley got right in to Courtney there, and maybe just setting the tone of, hey, I'm in the game now.
Hayes defends Vandersloot. To DeShields for a 3. Almost wedged it, races in, keeps it alive. Recovered. And a block. Parker on the stick back was rejected. Dream best shot blocking team in the league. Can it turn into 3 points on the other end? Short for Montgomery. Quigley with her eyes up. Quigley got bumped from behind, floats it in, and the foul. Veteran move in the open floor by the now 11th year pro Allie Quigley, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Yeah, took the bump, but when you're a scorer, you know how to work your body a bit to still get that shot off clean.
Also a 92% free throw shooter. She often scores in threes, mostly from outside. That time does it 3 the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, a little bit of pride in doing it that way, too. Maybe hurts a little more.
Yeah. A replacement starter in that all-star game. That 3 doesn't fall by Coffey, who's been on a tear from outside the arc. Coffey was 10 of her last 21 from 3 coming in. Dream lead by 4. Another giveaway by the Sky. Williams running on Dolson. Too heavy. Quigley gets into her spot, off the mark. Well, not many 3-point attempts by Allie Quigley will miss that badly. Second in the league in 3-point percentage. Bentley over Dolson. Really smooth in the mid-range, Alex Bentley. Ball stays with the Sky.
And you really see Atlanta attacking Dolson offensively. Elizabeth Williams missed the layup but ran at her, and you saw Alex Bentley also challenging, understanding the switch. Pulled up. That's the right move right there because Stephanie Dolson can block your shot pretty badly, make you feel like someone stole your cookies or something in there.
Oh, they blitz to Shields. Turns into a steal. Coffey, no good. Montgomery grabs it. She'll reset. Didn't like her chances against Dolson. Bentley likes her chances from 3, but it grazes the rim out of bounds. And again, this Dream team, encouragement from Darius Taylor, Angela McCautry aside. It has been a season-long struggle from 3 for Atlanta.
And you know where else? Right at the rim, too. They've missed a lot of layups, and it's just, I know there's contact, and they're not easy shots, but at the same time, they're close range, and you've got to finish through the contact down low. They leave a lot of points on the board.
Lee Copper penetrating. The double clutch doesn't fall. Sky have begun 5 of 15 inside of 2 minutes in their opening quarter. The stop and pop in traffic by Hayes. She thought she was fouled. She got the bounce anyway. 8 first quarter points for Tiffany Hayes, who really struggled. Oh, and thinking of stealing your cookies. Here's Montgomery. No looks at the coffee. Stolen away by DeShields. The recovery by Diamond DeShields. All-star hustle by the second-year pro. And overthrows that entry pass to Dolson.
That's not a great angle. Diamond DeShields has got to take another dribble or two to the wing. You want to make an entry pass. You always want to be able to almost read the front of the jersey unless you're lobbing it over. And so I thought Dolson had great position, working hard down low and clean that pass up because that's a great look for Chicago. Dolson one-on-one with her back to the basket, 2 feet from the rim. That's a good look.
So Maite Casolo, the rookie from Oregon, sub in for the first time for Atlanta. Jamira Faulkner, the backup point guard, is in for Diamond DeShields. Sky can't get out of their own way. That's 8 first quarter turnovers. The pick and roll to Breland. The up and under got it blocked. Recovered by Hayes. And Nadeau might have altered that putback. All out to the Sky. Copper shakes on Casolo, hits Faulkner, and the teardrop falls for Jamira Faulkner. Playing in her 5th game after bouncing back from a torn ACL in July of last year. The step back by Bentley, and she answers.
Alex Bentley has had some inconsistent shooting performances, but you see how comfortable she is? When she starts finding her rhythm, a lot of things are going to open up for Atlanta because she draws so much more attention, and she's not scared to shoot the ball.
Tied her season high with 12 points in that loss to Indiana. And reset the clock to 57 seconds. Dream have their largest lead. Copper. Playing a two-man game with Parker. Almost stolen away again. Parker takes it hard on Breland. Up strong, counted in the foul.
Yeah, Cheyenne Parker is very strong and athletic. Not scared to drop her shoulder and go find the contact. I thought Breland played it pretty straight up, but right at the end, Parker did a great job of engaging the contact. Understanding Jessica Breland is a great defender in terms of understanding her length. You've really got to go into her and force the official to make that call.
Foul was on Breland, her first. And for the first time in a home Dream uniform, Elena Coates subs in, the former draft pick of the Chicago Sky. Elena Coates, who was acquired by Atlanta earlier last month, stays with Atlanta.
Interesting couple games here for Elena Coates because she's played for Chicago and then Minnesota, who just released her, about 3 weeks ago. So that's who's here on the 6th. So you get to see some familiar faces.
Bentley knocks it down. Alex Bentley with 7 first quarter points. Lead stretches back to 8. Shot clock is off. Faulkner loads up the screen from Parker. Fakes the 3. Skips to Gabby Williams. Faulkner loads over Coates. Coates got a hand on it. And Faulkner can't catch it clean to get another shot off. The first quarter comes to an end. And a strong first quarter by Atlanta, much like the one they turned in 2 weeks ago in Chicago. The reserves certainly supplying some offense. Alex Bentley with 7. Dream by 8 through 1. Dream looking to snap a 6-game losing streak. Nikki Collins' team leads Chicago by 8 through the first quarter, and her team really got after it defensively in the opening 10 minutes, Amy. They forced 8 Chicago turnovers. What did they do so well to jam up the Sky?
When they speed up Chicago and they get them to scramble offensively, that's when they're able to get those tips, deflections, stops, and steals. But Chicago also has 6 assists on 7 made field goals. So when they get positions where they're moving the ball, like you're seeing right there, they do find success. So if you're Chicago, you can't let the Atlanta defense dictate your offense.
Foul was called on the Dream and Nia Coffey, her first. Dream, meanwhile, 9 of 21 in that first quarter, 3 of 7 from 3. A hit Copper baseline, slapped out by Coffey.
Lots of active hands for Atlanta, too. Even on Coffey's last foul, right? Digging down, trying to just be active defensively. You're going to get a look at Katie Lou, who's returning in from a right wrist injury, which is tough because that's her shooting hand.
And a rookie from Connecticut. Sky team that features 3 former Huskies. Dream have a pair with Montgomery and Hayes. The turnaround by Parker to beat the shot clock. Acrobatic finish. A little sauce on that turnaround by Cheyenne Parker, who's really emerging in her 5th season.
Yeah, she's fun to watch. She's just really explosive and understands her body and has done a tremendous job conditioning and just becoming a better athlete.
Breland off the pump fake on Nadeau. Got caught in a little too deep. Nadeau just got back from Eurobasket, where she won MVP honors for a Spain team that claimed the Eurobasket title. Dream basketball as Faulkner lost it.
Just a little extra effort. Alex Bentley getting her hand in there. Probably the very last second to do that.
It looked like Faulkner had a clear path to the basket.
Yeah.
Instead results in the Sky's 9 turnover. Williams takes it in on Coates, who rejects her, but a foul called. Elena Coates trying to protect the rim, instead collects her first.
Yeah, and Coates fouled out at Indiana. 6 fouls in 6 minutes. I mean, she was guarding Tiara McCowan, and sometimes I think as a big, coaches put you in and say, take a couple and just make life a little tougher for Tiara McCowan, who's rolling, by the way. I think she had 8 rebounds in the first half or something. Atlanta really had a tough time around the rim with her. But Elena Coates, I think, is also still navigating her way through in a different Atlanta system. At Minnesota, she was playing behind Sylvia Fowles. Their offense probably had a lot to do with getting the ball inside to a back-to-basket post player. Not the case here. They like to get their posts out in ball screens on the 3.
A little more nomadic of a start to Elena Coates' career. Certainly more nomadic than what you'd expect for a former number 2 overall pick. The reverse. Gabby Williams showing off her versatility. We caught up with Sky head coach James Wade before the game, and he gave a very interesting player comp to Gabby Williams. Russell Westbrook.
Hey, you take that, because I'll tell you something. You might love or hate Russell Westbrook, but he never cheats you with effort.
3 doesn't fall by Bentley. Coach flew in trying to keep that possession alive. Comes out to Williams instead. Dream by 6. Williams over Breland. No. Cazorla had it. Lost it. Faulkner can't rescue it. Dream possession.
And going back to Gabby Williams, I love I don't want to say risk, but James Wade putting her in a point guard position. And she's listed as a forward, and she played at UConn as a forward, and she's extremely athletic and versatile. But you wanted to challenge her, and defensively, because she can switch and play multiple positions, it's great. And giving her these opportunities and challenges offensively to run the point, it's fun to watch.
Logged some time at the point as Jamira Faulkner was still working her way back from a torn ACL. Another jumper falls by Alex Bentley. Coming off a season-high tying 12 in the loss to Indiana. That gives Bentley 9. Faulkner, the floater. Atlanta leads by 6. Here's Breland. Had a 3 in the first quarter. Can't get 1 in the second. Ripped down by the Sky. Meanwhile, the Sky, who came in with the second-best three-point percentage as a team in the league, just 1 for its first 7 from downtown. The stick back, though, by Nadeau. That has been an area of weakness for the Dream. Maybe they allow the most second-chance points per game in the league. Even for a weak offensive rebounding team like the Sky, those are opportunities for baskets.
And they are undersized inside, and sometimes you're just going to give them up. You are going to give them up to the Liz Cambage and the Tiara McCowan every once in a while. But sometimes they just miss the body, and those are the ones that you have a harder time sleeping at night over after you watch some film, especially when you're playing in these close games, right? I mean, they add up.
Coffey heads to the free throw line. The foul was on Samuelson. Her first, Sky's first of the quarter. Coffey, the former 5th overall pick of San Antonio in 2017.
Nia Coffey's got a great story because in 3 calendar years, she's played on 6 different teams. Or San Antonio moved to Vegas, so same organization, different location here in Atlanta, but then Europe as well.
She would tell you that's 6 different moves. Jump ball.
And that's life, but she understands that's life as a professional athlete. Rims and basketballs, they all look the same.
The third member of her family to be playing at the highest level professionally. Her brother Amir just wrapped up his career in Minnesota, signed a 2-way contract with the Clippers earlier this summer. Their dad, Richard, played briefly with the Timberwolves. Williams jumping with the deuce, slaps it down to Faulkner. Goes 1-on-3. Threads the needle to Williams, who finishes. Abby Williams giving the Sky a spark off the bench, down to a 2-point Dream lead. And stretch it out to as many as 8.
Well, and this is her guarding the point guard, right? And she got Renee Montgomery to pick that ball up.
Breland digs in and finishes over Nadeau. You don't often see that power game from Jessica Breland. With her body size, she's more capable than the screen and roll. Not afraid to get dirty for that bucket. Samuelson, quick catch and shoot. Williams, we got Breland the inside position.
And also pleading the official there. Come on, you got to give me something.
Cazorla, splash. The rookie found her spot, and the Dream back up to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, spark plug. Now, when you have a rookie that is willing to come in and embrace that role, in some ways played that role at Oregon behind Sabrina Ionescu, right? Or with her, but didn't always step up and have to have the big games or be in the limelight.
Foul off the ball. Hayes was defending the cut. Check out the wholesale substitutions for James Wade in the Sky. He's got 5 players at the scorer's table who will come in after our timeout. 4:51 to play in the second quarter. Tiffany Hayes wide open to Maite Cazorla. Dream 34, Sky 27. Dream lead by 7 here on Dream Pink Night. Atlanta wearing its special Dream Pink uniforms, and those threads carry even deeper meaning to the Dream's Jessica Breland Amy, herself a cancer survivor.
Yeah, in the 2008-2009, her junior season at North Carolina, she had a great season, 35 games, averaged 14 points, 8 rebounds. Well, spring 2009, she gets diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, form of cancer, and 6 months of chemotherapy. And then what's incredible, Andy, is she takes the year and then comes back and plays her senior year at North Carolina and then gets drafted in the WNBA. And in terms of just,
man, I mean, what do you say about that? Not only fighting and beating a life-threatening disease, but then thriving in such a physical manner, a professional athlete, and now she owns a spa in North Carolina. I'm a spa enthusiast, and I cannot wait to visit BR3 in Durham, North Carolina, where Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett.
If it's good enough for those two.
If the Dukies walked into a North Carolina spa, you know it's got to be good. But and just this holistic wellness, and if someone understands that more than anybody, it's Jessica Breland. And I mean, just watching her thrive is inspiring every single day.
We certainly salute her battle and what she represents, not just to the Dream, but the entire WNBA community. A 1 of 2 trim for Tiffany Hayes, sitting at 9 points. Dream lead sits at 5. Hayes up high to break up that pass for DeShields.
Tiffany Hayes, always on the floor. I mean, Andy, we could take a quarter every time she's on the hardwood, but it's because of these extra efforts. She's not scared to throw her body on either end of the court.
You got to really climb the ladder to match the athleticism of Diamond DeShields. And a foul off the ball on the Sky. Looks like they'll tag Stephanie Dolson. An illegal screen. It's her second.
Stephanie Dolson saying, hey, I'm just giving back what I'm getting. And players like Dolson, what I love about them is they want the contact, and they want to get down and dirty, but it gets frustrating when the whistle blows against you on them.
Dolson was hampered by foul trouble in the loss to Connecticut on Tuesday. That's her second foul. The runner too heavy by Hayes, but Williams there to clean it up. Elizabeth Williams' first basket, but Amy, she has really come on the last 11 games of the season.
Elizabeth Williams, you always see her set ball screens outside the 3. haven't seen her do it a whole lot tonight, Andy, and maybe that's why she's not necessarily scoring a whole lot or getting the touches, but she's also battling in the paint with Dolson, which is much easier to look at than actually do.
Double figures, 6 of her last 8 games. Posting on Dolson, trying to get that third foul on Dolson, but a nice job by Dolson to stay upright and get the block. Dolson had 5 blocks when these teams met last month, tied a career high, which she set versus the Dream. Something about the Atlanta Dream just brings out the best in Stephanie Dolson's shot blocking. Sky will go to the foul line as Williams' potential block instead goes for a foul.
Yeah, Williams can say, hey, if I'm going to take one, it's not going to be a touch. We don't like touch fouls in that red area, Andy.
Sends Jantel Lavender to the line. 9th-year pro from The Ohio State, who was acquired by the Sky May 20th from Los Angeles, where she had spent the previous 8 seasons.
And thriving in Chicago, by the way, averaging just over 10 more minutes a game, but also averaging 5 more points, 3 more rebounds. Her field goal percentage is up, so she's seizing the opportunities she's getting.
And leads the Sky in rebounding. She's averaging her second highest rebounding total of her career. Really benefited the Sparks as well. They needed to clear some cap space once they traded for Agwumike. Another knockdown from downtown from Alex Bentley. Bentley, 12 points on Wednesday. She's got a dozen here. Dolson steps into the 3, trying to answer, and she does.
Oh, she does that. She is okay with throwing that one up, and you see why. She makes them once in a while.
And Vandersloot gets the steal, and a foul called on Montgomery. Picked her pocket in the backcourt, and Montgomery gets whistled for the personal. Don't think she was quite ready for the pressure sneaking up from Courtney Vandersloot. Let me take a look at Stephanie Dolson, 5th in the league in field goal percentage, and that includes from 3. Dream, though, ahead by 5. Is there more fun when you're at State Farm Arena for a Dream game? Join us this Tuesday, August 6th, when the Dream hosts the Minnesota Lynx at 7 p.m. Tickets are available by calling 877-977-7729 or by visiting atlantadream.net. Alex Bentley, 7th-year pro from Penn State, 12 points to lead the Dream. She is that one player on this Dream roster, Amy, who can get microwaved hotter than anybody else, and she has shown the Sky why.
And Atlanta has been waiting for this all season from Alex Bentley, and if you're paying attention to the conversation with Nikki Collin before the game, she talked about sometimes all it takes is one player to hit some shots for everyone else to start feeling good. If you're Atlanta, you hope that her teammates can kind of follow her example.
Meanwhile, Vandersloot bangs down a pair of free throws, deficit down to 3. Bentley with a hand in her face, not that time. Interesting reversal as well as DeShields connects on the 3 to tie this game at 40. But continuing with that point, this Sky team second best in the league in three-point percentage. They're at 33%, 4-12. Crumbling screen by Montgomery, but it's illegal. And the Dream, 5 of 11 from 3. They are dead last with room to spare league-wide in three-point shooting.
But they're most of them, Andy, are good threes. They're kickouts. They're wide open.
Saw that collision with Montgomery and DeShields.
Yeah,
now is
and
Montgomery's second, make it her third.
And Montgomery's saying, I was planted. When you're running a weave, those screens have to be very precise. But if you are planted, it is a hard hit, and Diamond DeShields spills on the floor. Another player that's on the floor a whole lot.
Whistle inside, and 3-second violation on Dolson. Turnover is the Sky's 12th of the half. They've battled back from a 10-point deficit, Amy. In spite of 12 turnovers, shows you, like you said, just how dynamic this team can be. Inside of 2 minutes in the first half. Bentley off the Williams screen. Rotates Cazorla. That 3 doesn't fall.
Oh, feet set. I thought it was going.
She was itching for it. Takes the dish from Vandersloot. Can she tally an assist for Vandersloot? Yes, she can. And Stephanie Dolson gives the Sky the lead.
And do you know what's amazing about Vandersloot? Is that she got her the 3. She wanted it. Dolson wanted it. Didn't feel right. Gave it to Courtney. She said, get your feet set. Here it goes.
Drive by Hayes, can't flip that over Dolson. Dream starting to go cold. This might be one of those runs you talked about. Ball was thrown away. It's chased down by Bentley. DeShields trailing, and a foul called on DeShields. Trying to time up that block on Bentley. Bentley goes to the free throw line instead.
Yeah, and Chicago's going to be frustrated no matter what happens in this one. Because that's DeShields' second foul.
It is her second, but that was a floor foul. And so Alex Bentley, you sort of see her disagreement on the floor. Not going to the line.
I think she kind of got tripped up somehow before. But when Chicago watches this game after, whether they win or lose, that's a turnover that they're just going to cringe at. Because they get up 3, they got the chance to bump it a little bit more, 2-possession game, and they just turn the ball over.
Well, the Sky play a heavy pick-and-roll offense, and that sometimes leaves you vulnerable to turnovers. But this is not the volume that James Wade wants. 13 in the first half, and when these teams met July 17th, his team also committed 13 first-half turnovers.
Oh, well, what's interesting, Andy, is Atlanta also likes to run a lot of ball screens. So that's something that they defend in practice all the time, right? Because those are the reps they're getting. And
5 of Bentley, Breland, Hayes, Williams, and Cazorla. Hayes takes it in traffic and gets it blocked out of bounds. Tiffany Hayes, pretty fearless on the drive, though.
yeah, and I mean, she can attack the baseline so well, but Chicago did a great job of knowing where she was going and had her surrounded on that look.
Hayes with 9 points. Ball was poked out of her grasp by DeShields.
You see Chicago, right? They're just so intense defensively. Where they're doing some good things, but Chicago's playing better defense right now than Atlanta's offense.
And that's been one of the biggest transformations under James Wade. Last year, Chicago was 11th in the league in field goal percentage defense. They had the worst defensive rating in the league at 11-9. They are 3rd in the league in field goal percentage defense. Another tank to the tin by Bentley, and this time she'll go to the line.
Bentley.
She can be demonstrative.
And that came off a high ball screen, right? Elizabeth Williams twists the ball screen, created some confusion, and Alex Bentley able to get to the rim on it. And it almost looked like after the shot there was contact on the legs.
And a technical foul has just been called. But I believe against the Dream. That's on Tiffany Hayes. Just ranging out above the three-point line as Bentley was preparing for her free throws. Second straight home game that Tiffany Hayes has been teed up. Vandersloot is at the free throw line. She cashes in the technical free throw. And the Sky's lead is back up to 3.
I didn't see anything or hear anything, but it must have been pretty intense for that call. I mean,
obviously that was a technical born of something heard rather than seen. As Bentley, no good on the first free throw. Just her second miss at the line this season in 15 attempts, came in 93%. Trying to establish a new season high. Now she does. Give her 13. Final minute of the second quarter. Second meeting of the season between the Dream and Sky. Vandersloot peels off the Dolson screener. Pass was intercepted by Breland. Jessica Breland leads the Dream in that category.
that's because she's got wings. Her arms are wings. She is so long. And then when she gets the ball, she's got great hands, so she can corral it and get possession of the basketball.
Nikki Collin calls timeout with 30.4 remaining in our first half. We invite you to stick around for our halftime coverage. Amy Audibert interviews the Dream's Renee Montgomery. We'll look at the first half highlights, check out the first half statistics, and much more. And this has been a different Sky team in the second quarter after they trailed by 8 at the end of 1.
And that's what happened in Chicago a couple weeks ago. They were down 20-9, got the lead by half.
Have a group of 10 or more. Save some money while enjoying a Dream game this summer. Call 877-977-7729 or visit atlantadream.net to learn more. Sky, like we said, missed the playoffs each of the last 2 seasons. Allie Quigley was very candid about last season. She said that team underachieved. Now under new leadership in James Wade, they're 11-9, 6th place in the WNBA. But if you're in the middle of that pack in the league, you can never be too comfortable because while the Sky are only a game behind LA for 4th, they're also only a game ahead of Phoenix for 8th. And 8 of the Sky's 14 remaining games, Amy, are on the road. They will have to earn that playoff trip.
Yeah, and it has to be a one-game-at-a-time mentality.
Let's go, Dream! Let's go, Dream!
See with Nikki Collin diagrams off the timeout. Hayes with a shoulder fake onto Shields. One of the most athletic players in the league, the all-star diamond to Shields. They clear out for Breland with a step back. Rims off. Rebound kept alive, bounces out of bounds. Hayes took a hard shot to the face. It stays with Atlanta, but right now Tiffany Hayes is down in a heap. Now they reverse the call and give it to the Sky as Tiffany Hayes continues to writhe in pain.
It looked like there was some blood on the court there, too. Yeah, I mean, she certainly took...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and...
I think Nikki Collin asked for a review on that play that sent Tiffany Hayes into considerable agony. As you see athletic trainer Jessica Cohen and her teammates all sharing their concern for the 7th-year pro. So swooping in.
And yeah, definitely some contact. We caught the opposite side of it. We saw the back of her head, but she took it right in the face.
Kalia Copper at the elbows out, trying to box out.
Well, anytime there's some sort of contact above the shoulders, they've got to look at it. It's just where the league is, and rightfully so. But when there's blood on the court, you've really got to make sure you're looking at it. That's a tough hit. And I mean, it has been a very physical basketball game. And Tiffany Hayes, like we had already just mentioned, not scared to get in there.
Tiffany Hayes is one of the hardest-nosed players, pardon the pun, on this Dream team. And she rarely will show her discomfort or her pain. So when she is down and writhing like that, you know she took a shot.
Yeah, and she's heading right back into the locker room.
So 13.9 seconds remaining in the half. It will be Sky basketball pending the review. And remember when these teams met 2 weeks ago, the Dream were leading by 5 in the 4th quarter when Tiffany Hayes strained a hamstring. Missed the remaining 7 minutes of the ball game, and it was a lead that the Dream were ultimately unable to preserve.
She's just a big part of the team. In terms of being on the court, we've seen some games, Andy, where she hasn't scored a whole lot of points, but she's one of the best defensive guards in the league. And when you are guarding Atlanta and Tiffany Hayes is on the court, she is drawing attention. She can rip and go in the open court. She can take anyone on in the entire WNBA. So when Tiffany Hayes is not available, it's tough. It's tough for Atlanta.
Not only for this team in general, but specifically this game. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Hayes. Nia Coffey reported to the scores table after Hayes went down. Might thrust her into a more prominent role. With the final 13 seconds in the 20 minutes of the second half. Dream led by as many as 10, when the Sky clawed their way back on the strength of 8 points from Allie Quigley. She still leads the Sky in scoring, yet she's been scoreless in the second quarter, which makes this comeback even more impressive. Take a look again at that hit that Hayes took. And this is the same look that our referees are getting courtside. It's hard sometimes to discern what's a basketball play, what is not, what warrants a flagrant, what doesn't. It's not an enviable call for our officials to make.
Well, and there was no foul on the play at all, so it wouldn't be even upgrading a foul at this point. Now, you talk about Allie Quigley, though, and when they met a couple weeks ago in that close game, Quigley had 0 points at half. That finished the game with 10. And Vandersloot had 2 points at half and finishes the game with 9. But it was Diamond DeShields. She had 20 points at half, but she finished the game with 22. So Atlanta adjusted on DeShields, but then the other two stepped up. And to me, those are signs of really good programs or teams that can kind of play that chess match and find success in it.
We get our last replays of that collision involving Tiffany Hayes. Our officiating crew tonight: Jeff Smith, Janetta Graham, Katie Lukanich. They will offer their observations and see if a flagrant foul might be a result.
2 officials have to agree for it to be considered flagrant 1. All three have to agree for 2. But again, Andy, there was no foul called on the play, and so I'm sure we'll find out soon what the verdict is.
It's a hard one to adjudicate because both players were going for the basketball. And it happened so fast. You see a tangle of arms, everybody trying to reach for a loose ball. It might not draw you a whistle in the run of play, but when you slow things down, you realize there might have been something there that you miss in real time. And again, Tiffany Hayes helped off to the locker room after going down in considerable pain from an elbow that she took from the Sky's Kalia Copper to the bridge of her nose.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know if it was a nosebleed or if she split, her cheek open. Like, we didn't get to really see exactly what happened. And if you're Atlanta, you're certainly hoping, hey, with just under 14 seconds left in the half, you can play it out and maybe get Hayes back for the second half.
Some of our young fans enjoying Dream Pink Night at State Farm Arena. Oh, we can go even younger than that, Amy Audibert.
Yes.
Gotta love it. Getting an extended dance break.
They saw that hit. They saw the blood on the floor. They want to dance. They don't want to play basketball anymore, right?
They got an extended dance break here as Nikki Collin gets delivered the news by Janetta Graham, and James Wade will get the verdict as well on his side.
And we're getting a battle across the court, I just have to say, from the dance-off. As you're noticing, we are getting a challenge.
I'll try to get the word as well. Both teams are in the bonus, and they have indeed called a tactical foul on Diamond DeShields. I thought Copper was the one who made the contact with Hayes. Regardless, Cazorla cashes in on the free throw. And now a Sky possession. Well, DeShields was also in the area, but I thought Copper was the one who made contact with Hayes. Regardless, Vandersloot in the stare down with Coffey. WNBA assist leader Around Williams with the scoop and the score. She can shoot a little too.
And that's what makes her so deadly. Her scout is pass first. But she knows when to turn the Jets on and get there herself. I believe their broadcast team calls that the Vander Scoop.
Well done. Bentley pulls up from 30. Oh, so close. And the Dream trail by 4 at halftime. Alex Bentley with a team-high 13 points, but after leading by 8 at the end of 1, the Sky clawed back, and they take the 4-point lead into halftime. Coming up, an interview with the Dream's Renee Montgomery, our highlights, first half stats, and so much more. Stay with us. Halftime at State Farm Arena. Atlanta just 1-10 this year when trailing at the half. The Dream only trailed the Sky by 4 as we take a look at our first half highlights. We'll begin with the Chicago Sky, who are just 3-6 on the road this year, but they did bring Allie Quigley on the trip. 3 consecutive All-Star appearances for her. She paced the Sky with 8 first-quarter points, was held scoreless in the second. But this Sky team can beat you any number of ways, including in the open floor. Gabby Williams fit on the lane off the dish from Jamira Faulkner. And then it was Williams on the back cut, getting that layup to fall around Coffey. Diamond DeShields played her high school ball just up the road in Norcross, Georgia. Team leading 14.9 points per game, getting in on the action. And Courtney Vandersloot, what else do you think she's going to do? Of course, with the assist, one of her 3 in that first half, beating DeShields. Stephanie Dolson, though, she was the one who kind of gave that spark for the Sky when they were down double digits.
Yeah, such a personality. I think they feed off of her, right? When she does big things, they respond in a big way.
Atlanta was paced by Tiffany Hayes and Alex Bentley. You see Tiffany Hayes going to the rack on Dolson. Hayes finished with 9 first-half points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. And then the bench came to life as well as we see more of Tiffany Hayes' buckets. She struggled the other night in Indiana, just 3 of 13 from the floor. Hayes, 3 of 9 in that first half. Alex Bentley, 7th year in the league out of Penn State. She's also been mired in a slump that has seemingly stretched all season, but she was stretching the floor against the sky. 13 points in that first half. It's a new season benchmark for Alex. And helping keep it close, also drained a couple of threes, 1 of 5 in the half for Atlanta. Well, this is an Atlanta team, Amy, that might play this second half without Tiffany Hayes. 13.9 seconds remained in that first half. She was fighting for an offensive rebound, and she took an elbow from, we believe, Kalia Copper. A technical foul was then assessed at Diamond DeShields. Either way, Tiffany Hayes went down in a lot of pain, had to be helped off to the locker room. We do not see her warming up at the moment. We didn't expect her to, so now how did the Dream persevere without their leading scorer?
Well, it's good for Atlanta that Alex Bentley's been hitting shots tonight, because I'll tell you, and she will be the first to tell you, she hasn't had a great shooting performance, especially in July coming back from Eurobasket. But her teammates, they've encouraged her to keep shooting because they need this night from her. And this is the time to do it if you're Alex Bentley, as we get word that Tiffany Hayes will not return in the game. And so if you're Atlanta, you hope that halftime break did not cool off Bentley at all.
And Bentley, who still holds the WNBA record for consecutive made threes with 10. Went 2 of 5 from beyond the arc in that first half. Brittany Sykes, we thought the Dream might need for her athleticism defending on Diamond DeShields. Only 5 minutes. Might we see more of Brittany Sykes after halftime?
Yeah, you're going to have to. It's got to be next woman up mentality. And if you're the Dream, you're okay with Brittany Sykes getting out there and playing some defense. You're right. She's been extremely quiet. Hasn't played a lot of minutes. But she's had some special performances for Atlanta. And she is a player that does pass the eye test. She walks in a room and you say, okay, she can ball. I mean, and so they need her to not overcomplicate things upstairs, and I mean above her shoulders, but just get in there, sit down, play defense, run the court. She can hit a shot too, but just mentally get back in this game on the defensive end.
Quiet in that first half, yet when these teams met July 17th, had one of her more balanced box scores of the season. 7 points, 10 rebounds, and a season high with 6 assists. So she has done it before this year against Chicago.
She's so fun to watch when she's on fire. We go back to the 22-point quarter. I mean, come on. Let's get one of those.
Any time you're in the record books alongside Diana Taurasi, you've done something really, really good.
Yeah, and that was a special performance. But, again, that's not the mentality you want Brittany Sykes coming into the second half saying, I need to do that. You want her coming in and saying, well, first I need to step up on the defensive end for Tiffany Hayes, because as much as we talk about the scoring and the offensive threat that Tiffany Hayes is, she doesn't get enough credit for what she does defensively. And if I'm Atlanta, that's maybe where I'm more concerned right now, is the absence of Hayes on the defensive end.
Sykes 15 points away from 1,000 for her career. And Bentley takes Hayes' place to begin the second half, along with Williams, Sykes, Breland, and Renee Montgomery.
And right away you see the matchup. Sykes on DeShields.
Oh, yeah. That is worth the price of admission. And here is DeShields clutching on Sykes. Sky open up with possession. Lavender turns, hooks, and scores. Just a sturdy veteran for James Wade. And he gives the Sky its largest lead. Bentley threads the needle into Williams. Another one of those layups that you mentioned earlier, Amy, right there for this Dream, but they can't convert.
Yeah, Nikki Collins today in shoot-around told Williams to get the ball higher on the backboard with her layups, because she hasn't been finishing inside as well in the last game or so.
Williams is pinned in deep on Dolson. Has to throw herself under the chariot there. So Williams is first, team's first.
I think if you're Atlanta, that's a good foul. You take that one if you're first. It's tough. It's early work against the bigger bodies. Early work, early footwork.
DeShields doesn't pop the three, takes it inside with the offhand. Well, she was suspended in midair, one of the most athletic in the league, Diamond DeShields. Give her 7, give the Sky the 8-point lead, and give the Dream their 10th turnover.
This is where Atlanta has struggled in the season, right? They can't get it together offensively, and then their opponents get the looks they want on the other end of the court. And so something's got to give if you're Atlanta and you want to stay in games.
Dolson has knocked down a couple of threes today. Hands off to DeShields. Hangs, can't hit. On the run to Breland. Sykes. Oh, she shook DeShields out of her shoes. Splits a pair of defenders. It was everything but the finish for Brittany Sykes. Could have had herself a highlight. Now Quigley, closed out by Bentley. Skips to Vandersloot. Out to Dolson, trailing the play, knocks down the 3. You can't leave her alone, and it forces a Dream timeout as the lead suddenly swells to 11 for the Sky.
4 Sky players.
Touch that ball. See if Atlanta can jump and adjust when we get back.
Well, James Wade will be disappointed to know we captured that on camera, but he'll like what he sees elsewhere on the camera. His team off to a 7-0 start to begin the second half, 53-42. And the Sky shooting up to 52%, Amy.
And what I like the most for Chicago on that possession where the 4 players touch the ball, talking to Coach Wade before the game, the first word he said to us, Andy, was chemistry. That's what we have. We've got chemistry. Breland hits the nice mid-range jumper again. But you see that on the court. You see the Sky getting in transition. Or this, right? They slow it down, but they still whip that ball around and they find shots that they want.
Vandersloot catches in traffic. Plays it out to DeShields for 3. Doesn't fall. Race for the rebound. Vandersloot wins it. And now Vandersloot fires away. Can't drill that 3. And Sykes out-wrestles DeShields for the rebound. Sykes all the way in, all the way out to Breland. And the Dream will reset. No Tiffany Hayes. Bentley trying for points 14 and 15. Off the mark there. Lavender. Sykes, pass batted by Vandersloot, takes it away. But now thrown away again to Breland. And Breland with 2 more. Scramble play, but it goes the Dream's way. Jessica Breland now has 11. Had her only double-double of the season against the Sky 2 weeks ago, Amy. She's got 11 and 6, bidding for a second, and out defending Dolson. Lavender in deep on Sykes. Oh, she had the mismatch, the post up, but short-armed the shot.
Yeah, I thought she rushed on that. Lavender has to know she's a big mismatch underneath. Take your time.
Breland from the mid-range again. You can turn that into an art form.
It's amazing to me how wide open she is still, right? She looks like she's got time, and because of her length, you've got to be so present on the catch.
Breland's got 6 points in the quarter. Dream trail by 5. Breland's season high was 17, which she did twice, most recently against Connecticut. She catches baseline over to Shields. Puts some extra arch on that. Williams tries to keep the tap alive, and she does. Dream reset. Bentley. An air ball on the 3.
And this is where Bentley's got to be a little bit careful in terms of shot selection, okay? Because she gets into rhythm with a dribble. She's great at the pull-up, step back, all that stuff. That, to me, that's a bit of a stagnant shot. You know, work it around. Get a ball screen. The last 2 shots she's taken have been almost because Chicago's given them to her, as opposed to her working for the one she wants.
Vandersloot off the give and go from Dolson. Vandersloot is not the only gifted passer on this Sky team, and when you have the league assist leader, it's amazing how contagious unselfishness can be. Here's Bentley popping over Vandersloot, no good. Rebound to Parker. Rips that away from Breland. DeShields drives, hits, and 1.
Diamond DeShields can score in every way. She's worked tremendously hard offensively, right? Getting to the rim, getting mid-range, and pulling up for 3. But this time, I mean, the athleticism and the length on her, and now the ability to really finish that off. As James Wade told us, Andy, it's been the little things for her. She's good, she wants to be great. It's the little things. And I mean, little things, but a big finish there.
Yeah, little things, but there are some things that you can't teach like that finish. The and one gives her 10, double figures in 12 straight games for her, and the lead out to double digits for the Sky once again.
And the little things look big because she's so good, right? She's so naturally talented.
Bit of a heat check from the Norcross, Georgia native, Diamond DeShields, who, of course, won the WNBA All-Star Skills Challenge last week. Sykes lost the dribble. Another turnover gives it to the Sky. Dream looking for some scoring outside Jessica Breland this quarter. Williams and Bentley come out. Cazorla and Coach check in.
I like getting Cazorla in there because I'll tell you, she's got this sense of control. She never tries to play outside herself or force anything, and I think she's a great compliment to Renee Montgomery.
Parker thought about the three, dishes instead to DeShields. Cazorla bats away the pass. 9 to shoot, Sky possession. I have a feeling you'll see an influx of Ducks in the WNBA. Another acrobatic finish by DeShields.
I mean, Brittany Sykes is one of the more athletic women's basketball players you will ever see, and DeShields is getting over her at will right now.
Some things leave you scratching your head, both as a connoisseur of the game and as a defender. Another turnover for the Dream. Sky trying to stretch out a 12-point lead. Parker in deep, digs the shoulder in, but can't finish around Breland.
Yeah, she wanted the call, but it looked like she engaged first, and that's probably why the official chose not to blow the whistle.
Breland, extra pass, trying to find Cazorla, quickly deflects it out. Breland now up to 13 points. She needs some reinforcements if the Dream want to climb out of a 12-point hole. Big Coffee has checked in for the Dream, replacing Sykes. Pass again, knocked loose. Quigley. Something James Wade has talked about at various intervals this season, Amy, for his team to take that next step, become a playoff team and a team that can do some damage in the postseason. They need to learn how to close out games, something that's eluded them the last two seasons. And here on the road, protecting a 12-point lead with 3:45 in the third quarter, this next stretch toward the end of the quarter might tell a lot about this Sky mindset.
Yeah, they've had opportunities to use that as a measuring stick, and even the game at Connecticut, Andy, that's a nice offensive rebound and putback from Coates, but yeah, they were down big late. They still almost were able to tie that game up, and so, of course, there's no moral victories. I'm not a moral victory person, but when you're saying that's one of the things you have to do to get to where you want to be, I think his team is proving that. They're certainly a gritty group.
Breland almost had it jarred loose. Comes around to Cazorla for three. Halfway down and out. Coffee flies in for the rebound. Got a block from behind by Dolson. Loose ball foul, and it looks like it is going on Dolson. The activity around the rim keeps possession with the Dream.
Oh, Coffee got up
Oh,
too.
wow.
What a big rebound.
Foul is Dolson's third. First of the quarter against Chicago as Quigley gets a breather. Copper comes in.
Have to capitalize on these opportunities if you're Atlanta. This is a second chance opportunity.
Here's Breland. The pump fake. The blow by on Parker. And the finish by Breland.
Oh, Breland. She's fun when she gets going. She's the most calm personality off the court maybe I've ever seen, but she's
Well, when you
fired
own
up.
your own spot.
Yeah, very zen.
Coates defending in the post on Parker. Almost lost her balance. Worked around the DeShields for a quick fire three. No good. Coffee in for the rebound.
And that's the quick shot or the offense being sped up by Atlanta's defense. That's what Chicago doesn't want.
Montgomery short. This time Dolson got the inside position on Coates. Chicago ball. Renee Montgomery has not quite duplicated her stat line from last month versus Chicago. Just 3 points for Renee. She was on one at Wintrust Arena last month. A season-high 23 points and 6 threes. The Sky, to their relief, have not seen that Renee Montgomery yet.
She really hasn't taken a whole lot either. I mean, part of their game plan or scouting report coming in was probably not to let Renee Montgomery go off and get comfortable.
Copper heaves and hits from 3. Copper just a 33% three-point shooter. She had really been struggling her last 2 games, 3 of 15 from the floor. Makes it an 11-point lead again. Coffey sizes up the Shields. Fades over her. Leaves that long. Quarter started with a 7-0 Sky run after leading by 4 at halftime. Shields stops and pops, no good. An 8th board for Breland. Tiffany Hayes out for the remainder of the game. After taking a shot to the chops in the closing seconds of the second quarter, Breland for 3, hits it! A second triple of the night for Jessica Breland.
How great is it, Andy, with her story that we've already touched on, and it's the Dream Pink game, and she's having this performance tonight.
It's a season high for Breland, 18 points. The former All-Star with the Sky, out challenging on Parker. Montgomery rescues it. Less than a minute in the third. And a chance for the Dream to chip away some more. Vandersloot shadows Montgomery. Dream weave it to Casorla. Tried to dribble it between her legs, almost lost it. Breland recovers, but the shot clock's at 5. Has to crate on to do. Dips behind the screen and misses the 3. And that is a half-court possession that Nikki Collin might lament when she watches it back. Had the momentum in your favor and just couldn't get anything going on that trip.
And that's where you think Tiffany Hayes is just invaluable, because she gets something for you, whether it's drawing attention, finding a shot. You want her on the court in those situations.
Foul inside on Coates, her second. Shot clock is turned off. Coates making her home debut for the Dream. In low to Parker, turns and lays it in.
And that's too easy if you're Atlanta, right? That's just an easy pass in, and footwork's already done. Great offense, but you need to see a bit more challenge.
Montgomery trying to unhinge herself from Vandersloot. Got it on the rim from distance, but it's no good. And the Dream wanted to stop a 6-game losing streak. Will have to dig out of a double-digit deficit to begin the fourth quarter. The bucket in the closing seconds by Cheyenne Parker. Sky have not been great on the road this year, but they head to the fourth on top by 10. Head to the fourth, Dream trail by 10. Tiffany Hayes out for the rest of the game, but she is responsible, Amy, for a State Farm assist of the game.
Look at that. And I love my take, spotting up, spacing the floor, getting to the corner, showing her hands, and, of course, the assist on time, on target.
Casorla, a corner 3. Trying to replicate that finish that she had off the assist from Hayes.
Oh, that would have been a great way to open for Atlanta. And you've got to get some energy, a bit more ball energy behind their shots on offense.
Copper knocked free by Casorla. Sky cleaned up their turnovers. Only 2 in the third quarter after 14 in the first half. Kind of mirrors the way they cleaned that aspect up when these teams met 2 weeks ago.
And I'm sure that was something that was nicely or not so nicely discussed in the locker room at halftime, because you're on the road, you've got to take care of the ball, and had a 4-point lead at half, but, limit some of those turnovers. You can't have your season average on turnovers at halftime, right? And then expect to win games on the road. So they've made that adjustment, and a 10-point lead for the Sky.
They've led by as many as 12. Dream have led by as many as 10. Bentley harassed. Ball was deflected into the backcourt. Casorla, shot clock at 4. Whips it to Bentley for a 3. Now, Bentley had a couple of knockdowns early in the game. Hasn't quite duplicated that. That makes her 2 for 8 now. After starting 5 of 10 from 3, the Dream have missed 11 of their last 12. Faulkner from long range hits it. Jamira Faulkner with their first 3 of the season in her 5th game back from her torn ACL. And now the Sky enjoying their largest lead. Putting a lot of ball pressure, Amy, on these Dream guards. Bentley trying to draw contact on Williams, and she does. That'll send her to the line. And Williams' first foul.
And if you're James Wade, a little extra happy that you're showing this effort while giving Vandersloot and Quigley and even DeShields and Dolson some rest on the bench. Understanding it is August now, and this is a team, as you said, in playoffs right now. A lot can happen, but they've got some depth. And so for them to be able to utilize it, that all plays into part as this season kind of winds down.
As you know, that All-Star break can only refresh you so much. The Sky well represented in Las Vegas. In fact, they tie with the Aces for most All-Star selections with 3 DeShields, Vandersloot, and Quigley. Thought it was kind of cruel by Elena Deladon to split up Vandersloot and Quigley and make them play on separate teams.
Cool or evil? I'm just kidding. I'm sure the Sky fans weren't too happy, but everybody else was probably okay with it.
Nadeau lines up the 3. It's off the mark. Acrobatic rebound, Elizabeth Williams. Bentley pushes the pedal. Behind the back to Coffey for a 3. Would have been a pretty finish. Bentley the rebound. Puts it back up and hits.
All right, Atlanta. All right, Dream, if you're going to do it, you got to sit down and get stops, Andy. That's where it starts, and that's what this team believes in. If they can sit down and defend.
That's too easy, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I don't know how much bumping and grinding kind of happened for a layup at the rim. You've got to earn those looks.
Nadeau gets her second field goal. Coffey over Nadeau. Splashes down that 3. Deficit at 8. These teams met in Chicago. The Dream, the road team, led by 8 early in the fourth quarter before the home team rallied and won. Parker cleared over Coffey, an offensive foul. Trying to pivot around her, got that elbow up and extended.
Nia Coffey doing a great job, because I'll tell you, a scout on Cheyenne Parker is if you get hit, it's going to hurt. And Nia Coffey still got her body in great position and took that right in the chest for her team.
Bentley drives on Faulkner. Cross court to Cazorla. She takes it in. Splits a pair and draws the foul. Cazorla's looked assertive offensively. You know, normally you said that she's more unselfish, more deferential, but she's been more aggressive finding her shot tonight.
Yeah, I think the point I was trying to make is she understands when she needs to do that, and she's okay with letting other players and coming in as a rookie and also understanding that she's shown tremendous poise and maturity because she has been given opportunities. And even on that, right, she had that first step, knew she got bumped and said, I got to go to the rim because I'm going to get a call now.
Her season high is 10. That gives her 8. The 5th youngest player in the league. Cuts the Sky lead to 6.
And you watch practice, you can see the confidence she's gaining in shooting the ball and just being ready to make more impacts.
Have a sense with 6:16 to go. James Wade will start shuttling in his starters. Gabby Williams rattles down the 3, and that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a killer.
For Gabby Williams, who came in, Amy, shooting 15% from 3, 4 of 26. No hesitation. Bentley with the bank shot as the margin drops down to 7. Copper, the pull-up, and the finish. We talked about Jessica Breland, Amy. We'd be remiss if we didn't also mention Kalia Copper, the fourth-year pro from Rutgers. On this Dream Pink night, her mom, Letitia, a breast cancer survivor, and one of the reasons she played at Rutgers for the legendary C. Vivian Stringer was to be closer to her mom as she was undergoing her health problems. Blocking foul inside on Coffey's drive. 5:24 to play in our fourth and final quarter. In support of WNBA Breast Health Awareness. Visit WNBA.com/assess risk and put awareness into action to reduce your risk of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. A timeout. Approaching the midway mark of our fourth quarter from State Farm Arena. Dream trail by 9. Stay with us. You see the stat line for Courtney Vandersloot tonight, 7 assists. She is chasing a WNBA season assist average record held by, well, her. And she broke the previous record set by her. Trying to go 3 consecutive years, setting the season assist average record, 8.65 coming in, which would top her 8.60 of last year. Right now, focused simply on the win. Bentley with a high bank shot over Dolson.
Yeah, that's gutsy, taking that right into the lane over 6'5", who's a great shot blocker. Alex Bentley, if they could just get that consistency through the third quarter from them, they'd be right in this game right now.
Dream needed a scoring boost without Tiffany Hayes this entire second half. To Shields over Williams, no good. Coffey on the run as Casorla trailing. Coffey with the Euro, stripped by Quigley. It stays with the Dream.
Coffey didn't see the help coming in transition. They're happy to retain possession.
Bentley a season high 21 points. Jessica Breland also has a season high with 18. Thought Coffey might grab some more minutes with Hayes' injury, but she caught that inbounds pass on the sideline for a turnover.
Yeah, those are unforced turnovers. Chicago is not expending a whole lot of energy late game, and they're getting the ball back, and those ones are really tough for Atlanta.
Sky have their original 5 on the floor, including Jantel Lavender, who pops out and takes in front of Williams. Now Vandersloot. They blitz on the screen, but on that hedge, Coffey sent Vandersloot to the deck. First of the quarter against Atlanta, it's Coffey's third. Stephanie Dolson in your screen there had the game-winning layup against Atlanta last month. Trying to avoid any late-game heroics tonight on the road. Quigley crosses by Casorla. No looks at Vandersloot. Shot clock at 3. Leans in. No good. Rebound Lavender. Vandersloot left alone, and she makes it pay.
Yeah, again, just a couple mistakes for Atlanta. First of all, just giving up the offensive rebound, but someone has got to be near Vandersloot at all times.
And just trying to disrupt her as they get into the offense. That was a tough fadeaway by Bentley. Inside of 4 minutes, Sky by 10. Ball thrown away. Bentley has Coffey in transition. Behind the back to Coffey, taking it on Dolson. Dolson hits the deck hard, but the foul called.
Yeah, Nia Coffey had 2 options. Get to the rim or space it out at the 3. And then another gutsy look, because Dolson almost had position on that, but Nia Coffey fearless. Get 2 from the free throw line.
Dolson's fourth, team's fourth. Coffey 5 points tonight, just 1 of 7 from the floor. And it's the Dream trail by 10. Got to make your free throws, though. The Dream 11th in the league in free throw percentage.
Well, Stephanie Dolson, one of many UConn alumni playing tonight. And I'll tell you, I had a great pleasure today of talking with Bob Joyce, their radio play-by-play announcer since 2001. So he's called some wins in his career. But
just a few.
You know what he said about Stephanie Dolson when I talked to her about it? Of course, he's a great kid. Of course, she's a grown woman now. But at the time, she's a great kid. But he said, she is maybe the best passing big that came through UConn. She averaged 3 assists last season at 6'5". But when someone tells you you're one of the best of anything coming out of UConn, and someone who has seen every game pretty much and called them all, that just is a testament to her ability, not just to put her back to the basket and score.
Dolson, Vandersloot and company trying to close out the Dream on the road. 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Quigley picks up the dribble. Feeds to Shields for three. Whistle on the rebound attempt. And this one is going on Bentley. So it stays with Chicago as we've reached timeout. 2:54 remaining. Dream had closed the deficit to 6. It's currently at 11. 80-69. Sky in front. Down by 11, 2:54 to play. Our Children's Healthcare of Atlanta player of the game, Alex Bentley, a new season high for the seventh-year pro, 21 points, 4 rebounds. Jessica Breland also deserving of the honor as she's got a season high of her own with 18 points and 7 rebounds, nearing a second double-double of the season. Her first came against the Sky as well.
And Breland also, she's 8 for 16 from the field. It's her field goal attempt high on the season. But why I appreciate that, she had to step up in the absence of Hayes, and she has done a great job for her team tonight. That's a tough matchup for anybody. Again, it's got to be that early work against Dolson in the post.
Stephanie Dolson, 13 points. She's perfect from the floor, 5 of 5. 3 of them from three-point range. Montgomery has not been her night from 3. Really has not been her night from 3 since going off against the Sky 2 weeks ago. And Renee Montgomery, Amy, 37% from 3 last year. This is her 11th season. She's never been below 30% for a season in three-point percentage. There's another 3 by Dolson. Montgomery right now is 27% from long range. And the Sky, with a flurry, have stretched this out to 16. Williams diving hard to the rim. Foul called on DeShields. How about Dolson, though? 4 of 4 from 3.
She's feeling good from long tonight. You know, Atlanta, we talked about making adjustments defensively, and we saw it here a couple weeks ago with L.A. with Tierra Ruffin-Pratt. And it was 6, I think she hit her career-high 6 threes in that game. You got to adjust, right? And while Dolson's scouting report, she's much bigger threat inside with her back to the basket. But what she's doing tonight is on back-to-back possessions. It's kind of the story of the game. Scoring with her back to the basket, 2 feet from the hoop. Next possession, she's spotting up and hitting a 3. And so you've got to find a way to step up and stop those types of performances on your home court.
Conversely, it's been a quiet night for Elizabeth Williams. That's just her 4th point. She'd been averaging over 12 her last 11 games. Now, Stephanie Dolson is 5th in the league in field goal percentage. Might move up a spot or 2 after tonight.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Another game against Atlanta where Chicago weathered a barrage of self-inflicted turnovers. There's the first miss of the night by Dolson. Loose ball foul. Let's go on the other way. Foul was called on the Sky. But another night where the Sky overcame an early rash of turnovers.
And that's just what I was going to say to you, Andy, is we've talked about the grit and they don't back down. You look at this last play. They're up 14 with 1:32. They're getting a foul on an offensive rebounding attempt because they're hungry for the ball, because they're not complacent with decent leads on the road.
They're continuing to strive for more. And you're looking at the head coach, James Wade. That's just philosophy, right? And that's where it starts with. It stems down from your head coach. And he's not shying away from saying, we want a playoff spot. We want success. And he said Courtney Vandersloot talked about underachieving last year. And so you play right until the buzzer ends, and they've done that all season.
So James Wade, who, by the way, played up the road to Kennesaw State in college, talking with Allie Quigley, the All-Star. Allie Quigley just 1 made 3. She's on pace to become the only person not named Diana Taurasi with 93 pointers in the regular season. Another 3 strokes home, the 11th of the night, that one from Lavender. A 6th assist also for Diamond DeShields. Impressive road showing by the Sky. We'll move to 12 and 9. Casorla for 3. And after an early strong start from beyond the arc, Dream have come back down to earth now, 7 of 26 from 3. Losing streak will extend to 7. Dream will have a chance to break that Tuesday at home versus Minnesota, and just couldn't match the Sky offensively in the second half, Amy, once Tiffany Hayes went down.
Yeah, we said that Tiffany Hayes, You miss her offensively, you miss the attention she draws and the production that she has often, but it's defensively where you don't necessarily notice it on a box score, but Tiffany Hayes is so important defensively, and Chicago has done a great job of taking advantage of that.
We remind you to follow the Atlanta Dream all season long on social media. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by following @Atlanta Dream. We've talked with a lot of coaches who have come to State Farm Arena this summer, Amy. And almost every single one of them has said the same thing. They look at Atlanta's record, which after tonight will be 5-17. And it doesn't pass the eye test because they all know how talented this Dream team is, the veterans they have in their lineup. And so this is a 5-17 team that, strange as it may sound to some, still commands a lot of respect. The Dream, though, are frustrated. They know they're a better team than their record, have just not found enough nights where it all comes together for them.
Well, they're shooting 36% from the field, and unfortunately you can sit down and you can play great defense, which they've done at times. You've got to be able to put that ball through the rim to win basketball games at the professional level.
Yeah, last in the league in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, 11th in free throw percentage. And as staunch as they can be defensively, you're leaning a lot on that defense with those shooting numbers to get you a W.
But speaking of defense, they held Minnesota to 53. When was that? Mid-July. It's all scrambled, right? But and so you'd hope that Atlanta has confidence in that ability, because Minnesota's going to come to State Farm with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. They want that game back, and that's a team that's in playoff. They're in playoffs right now, but because the standings are so tight, you have to take care of business every night. Where the league is this year is so fascinating. It is going to be such a fun end to the regular season.
Yeah, the parity in the league is almost unmatched this year. Chloe Jackson gets her first touch, the rookie from Baylor, in these closing seconds.
And I was just going to say, Andy, you got to add, with a single game elimination in playoffs in the parity, I couldn't tell you. I mean, what Washington did last night, yep. I mean, if you had to put money, they're up there. But there's so many teams that are really going to start coming on strong now as August gets underway.
And Connecticut has defied expectations. A lot of people thought they'd cool off after that strong start, but the best record in the league. Casorla misfires from three. Sky can dribble out the clock. And they pull away from the Dream in the second half to capture their second game of the season against Atlanta. Another disappointing defeat for the Dream tonight, who fall 87-75. I'll try to snap a now 7-game losing